girl, it's Bars. So we're gonna spend some time today with me showing you how I get my warm, glowy, Instagram aesthetic makeup look. So I'm gonna show you guys what products I'm using throughout too, so that if you want to try it yourself you can. But this is mostly gonna be a video about technique, so that you guys know how to blend your makeup so that it looks even and seamless and natural. I'm using this NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer. I would usually use the Smashbox primer, but I found this really good dupe, and it wasn't by NYX, it was by, was it NYX? No, it was a different drugstore brand that's literally a replica of Smashbox. This one is similar, but it's a little more thin. I was gonna say watered down. It's a little more thin. So is it my favorite? It's not my favorite, but it gets the job done. It has a similar consistency to the Smashbox one. I've been using Thread makeup. Thread is a drugstore brand makeup that you can buy at Target. It's very affordable. I want to say it's about $8 at Target. So this is in the shade medium brown, medium warm brown, number 8. There's no method to this, just put it on your face. That looks crazy. Okay. I'm taking shade 9, Rich Warm Golden, for the outside of my face. This is because the outer part of your face is usually darker than the inner part. I know I look crazy right now, but we're just gonna go around the outer edges, like a tap around the outer edges with that warmer color. And it can touch the foundation color. This is just because I like that warm color around the edges. One thing that I've been doing lately is using a brush instead of a beauty blender. I've really been loving Morphe's brushes. I've been going to Ulta and getting whatever brush I feel like will fit what I need it for. So this is the brush M439. I use it to buff out my foundation, and it's very dense. It's very dense, and it's the one with the white tips, but of course it's brown because I have foundation on it. So I'm just going to, in a patting motion, blend out my makeup. Blend it down to that neck, girl. Now I'm gonna give myself a little spritz just to keep my makeup dewy and light, or dewy and, you know, what's the word? Hydrated looking. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter OG. I love this setting spray. Again, this is like the primer. I haven't really tried that many different ones, but I do really love this one. I am a huge advocate and a huge lover of a bright under eye. I know the girls are. But this part is what separates regular makeup from that photo ready Instagram baddie makeup look. So when you guys are looking for a more like glamorous, more snatched look, it's because your under eye gotta be right, okay? And your contour, but we'll get into that after we do the concealer. I'm only gonna put it on the inner corner, like that. And then I'm gonna just blend it out. And then I'm gonna put a little under my nose and a little on my chin, just a dot. I just put a dot on my chin because. And then I put my forehead right between my eyebrows, and I make like a V, like a little upside down triangle, and I fill it in. The nose is important, so you better know how to draw a straight line. If you mess up your nose, your face will look discombobulated. Okay, so just tapping that on my hand to get it warm and to get some of that excess water out if there is any. First thing I'm gonna do is blend it out with the brush, and then I'm gonna make sure it's even with the beauty blender. So again, I'm gonna do the tapping motion. And then I'm gonna bring it down to right at the top of my cheek. Like, I don't want it to go down too far because I want it to stay focused in my under eye area. but I am going to put a little on my cheek just to make sure it's even. And I'm going to bring this eye all the way up. All the way up. Now, you can do this with a beauty blender. I'll show you this eye with a beauty blender. Okay, now this is this side with the beauty blender. And this is the side with the brush. This side looks more professional and even to me, and this side looks a little unblended. Like you're gonna be stressing to blend that out. So I'm just gonna go in and do a little touch up with the brush. Now that was not to demonstrate that one is better than the other, because if you have the magic touch with a beauty blender, then you keep using the beauty blender. But if you've been feeling like the beauty blender hasn't been getting you right, then use a brush, an under eye brush. The chin, I like to follow this like upside down U. I feel like the fattest part of your chin, like the chunky part of your chin, or the rounded bottom part of your chin, depending on what your chin shape is. I'm just gonna like kind of blend it to that shape, the little round part of your chin. With my forehead concealer, I go in a semicircle motion to go with this part of my forehead, because the rest of my forehead is gonna get bronzed. So I focus here at the center, the smaller semicircle. Your forehead is the wider semicircle, your concealer is the smaller semicircle. And then down the nose, I would usually go with, if I could, I would go with a smaller brush like this. But I use this one for my contour, but if you have an extra one of these, I would use it for your, the bridge of your nose and under your eye. Your brow, excuse me, under your brow. The more precise you are with your brushes, the better your makeup will look, because everything is where it's supposed to be. Because the brush is meant for that area, your makeup will look more precise, you know, as opposed to everything just looking flat, you know? It'll make the colors pop more and things will be where they're supposed to be. See? Because this isn't precise, it's causing like a drag of that line. And I don't want that, so I'm gonna just go in with this. Now, if you messed up like me and went too wide, it's okay, because you can go in with your contour, your nose contour, that's gonna kind of clean it up and erase it. So now that we blended out our concealer, what we're gonna do is go in with our contour. So I'm gonna take this tool for my nose contour, and I'm gonna take this brush. It's a dense, almost like a foundation brush. It's a little bit smaller than my foundation brush, but they're also kind of similar. I'm gonna take this one for my contour. I like this one because it's round and it keeps my contour looking not like harsh lines. It keeps it looking blended and smooth. But this brush is from e.l.f. and it's definitely falling apart. So I'm gonna take the cream stick thing from Thread, and I'm gonna put it in my contour areas. So I'll put it here. I'll put literally like a line. I don't start at my hairline because I don't want too much product packed by my hairline. I want to be able to blend it backwards, not pull it forwards. So I'll just put it right in between, like right there. Can y'all see that? And then I'll put like a couple of dashes on my forehead, by my temple, other side of my forehead, other temple. This is what you do if you want a snatch nose. You're gonna go from your eyebrows to a sharp V point towards the middle here, but you're not gonna meet the V. The V is not gonna meet. You're just gonna bring it to a V by the middle of your nose and then go straight down. That's how you do a nice sharp nose contour. Take your brush and just kind of like dab it on there too. Okay, do y'all see that? Under the front of my eyebrow, drag down to the center. I made a little bit of a mistake right there but it's okay. Again, we can clean it up with concealer. And then from here, from this point, I'm gonna just go straight down along the sides. This is where we can erase that mess up with the concealer that we have right here. And then I just take like a little U shape underneath my nose. And I go like right in the crease of my nostril, like here. You want to blend it away from the lines this way, obviously not inward. But you just want to drag it down. Your eyebrow concealer you can definitely bring in towards your eyes because it acts like an eyeshadow too, to bring like warmth to your eyelid. And then for my forehead and my cheek area, I'm gonna take that blending brush and I'm gonna like tap it. I'm gonna slightly bring it upward as opposed to downward because you want this area to stay your skin color and you want everything above it to be warmed up. So you're gonna take your contour area and tap upward. Remember, press and tap type of thing. Like you're like swiping, but you're tapping upward. And that's gonna keep it looking blended and like airbrushed. So I don't like to contour under here anymore, as I'm not a fan. I just feel like I don't know how to make that look natural, so I don't really do that area anymore. But if you do have some left over, then you know you can just give it a little pop in. You know, you can just do a little right by the back of your jawline. I don't like to do that. It can get really messy really quickly, so I usually don't mess with that area. Okay, now to blend everything together, because this might look nice, but details, okay, we're gonna pay attention to details. We're gonna go back in with the foundation brush and we're gonna blend all of the lines, everything that is separate. So concealer to contour, we're gonna blend in between that. Contour to concealer, everything where you have a contour to concealer moment, you're gonna take your foundation brush and blend between that line so you can put the two colors together. So I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm going to blend between the two lines. But I'm going to lean more towards the contour side than the concealer side because I want my concealer to stay bright. I don't want to darken my concealer too much. So I'm going to stay closer to the bronzed side with my foundation. But the point of this is to blend the two colors together because contour is obviously darker and concealer is obviously lighter. And you need a shade that's right in between, which should be your foundation color. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my nose contour and I'm gonna kind of like press it. I don't want to do too much, but I'm gonna press it between my concealer and my bronzer, like I said. Okay, so that's my blend. If you don't like how much your nose is contoured, go in as much as you need to more with the foundation brush and then reconceal and blend the concealer out. Just kind of play back and forth with your concealer and contour to get exactly the balance that you need. I actually need to go in and retouch my concealer line, like that much. You can't even really see it. Just a touch so I can blend it out. Now that I've erased my mistake, I'm gonna pat my foundation back in to make sure the lines blend together and it's not too light now. Next thing I'm gonna do is powder. So we're gonna set the under eye. After you've kind of brightened it, the brightness will go away after blending things out. So we now just did the first layer. Next we're gonna do powders. We're gonna do a powder under eye and can set all of our concealer spots, and then a bronzer to set in those contour bronze areas. And that's gonna just lock in everything. I have this Laura Mercier in the color Honey, but I do recommend translucent. I put it at an angle right under my eye and I blend backward. And I bring it down too. I might put a little bit over my contour to smooth out, to even out the lines. I don't want a harsh line under my eye. So I might like bring it onto my cheek a little. I recommend Laura Mercier over any other powder because it's just super fine and it sets really pretty. Like it looks like, I don't know, it looks beautiful. Put a little bit on my chin. Tiny bit on my forehead. You can leave this step out. You don't have to do this step if you're nervous about it looking funny. But I start with putting it right between my eyebrows. And I follow that shape of the concealer I made. And I just kind of spread it out. Just like the concealer, make sure you're creating a straight line, but it's okay because you can always clean it up with the bronzer after. Okay, the girlies like to do the line here. Do not do that unless you have the right brush for it. If you do not have the right powder brush to blend that out, please don't do it because it will be hard to blend out after. Yeah, I might put like a little, like barely anything. But what that does is it creates an illusion of a high cheekbone if you separate your, cheek from your jawline. Done. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brush it away now because I really don't want this to sit long because the brush that I have cannot lift it as easily as the right brush. So it's important to have the right brush for this. When you go to pick up your makeup brushes, ask the store worker, the store clerk, for a powder brush, a good quality powder brush. You might be paying like $20-$30 for it, but I promise you your makeup powder being blended away properly is so important or you will look crazy. So I have to be really careful because this brush doesn't get everything like I need it to, but it does, it does it for the most part. So you see, like, I have to really get in there for it to go away. Like I have to really like push. With a good quality powder brush, you just do shh, shh, and it's gone. And when you're using your brushes, be very lightweight with them. Like be very gentle and always pick up less product and just build up to it. If you start with too much, it is harder to fix it than to add more, okay? Be gentle and only use a little bit at a time. Like with the under eye, start with a dot of powder, blend it, see how you like it. If you want to add a little more, add a little bit more, but always start with less. I think this is as good as my powder is gonna get. Now I'm going to do my my bronzer to set my contour. So I'm gonna use another dense brush, which I should not be using, okay? I really should not be using this. You should be using something that's a little bit more soft, a little more fluffy. This one is very stiff, okay? And that's because I thought that I was going the same way with the liquid, and I was like, oh yeah, I just want like a round. But with powder, you want to be able to blend that bad boy. I'm able to finesse this brush with my bronzer, but please get a soft, fluffy bronzer brush. If it says blush on it for the brush, you can use that, but do something for blush or bronzer, okay? Don't use a dense brush. Bronzer recommendation. I'm obsessed with Nars's bronzer. Nars's bronzer in the color Qiramba. What? So what I'm gonna do is the same way I did the concealer, the liquid one. I'm just gonna pat my brush. That was honestly too much. One pat is really good. I took 3. And I'm gonna tap it right on my cheek. And it's already showing. You see that spot? Yeah. I'm gonna just tap it. Oh my gosh, that's too much. So I'm gonna go to the other side. Tap it. And with powder, you can go to your hairline, right? Because it's not liquid and it's not gonna cake up. But I'm just tapping it. I'm gonna put it everywhere I put the contour. Your forehead can get, your temples and your forehead can get more bronzer than I would say your cheeks. I wouldn't put too much on your cheeks. And then you're gonna kind of do that pat blend motion with your brush. If you have a more fluffy brush, you really could just go like this, but this is too dense to do that. So I'm patting and like, you know, doing that motion. Bringing it to only where this ends, where this crease ends, is where I bring the powder down to, and my concealer. Now you see you're even warmer, it's more glowy, it's giving bronze. And then we're gonna take what's left over of our bronzer powder, and we're gonna press in our nose contour. So we're just gonna kind of like slide down and press it in. Slide down and press it in. Then you can clean up any like powder mistakes you made down your nose. You can just kind of shape it. Okay, so our face is done. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do brows, eyeshadow, lips, and lashes. Are y'all ready? Let's do it. And blush. For blush, we're gonna use Juvia's Place. Yeah, it's Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place Blushed Rougie, Volume 6. I thought when I bought this that this was pink. It's orange, so this is what we're working with. The lighter part definitely makes your face look brighter. Don't be scared, my chocolate girls, to use the light blush. It's not harmful at all. If anything, it makes your blush pop even more. I'm gonna put it right below my concealer, where the bronzer is, and I'm gonna just brush upward. And I'm gonna smile because we need it on our cheekbone. And then just go up. And this can come down onto your, like, you know, your bronzer if you want it to. It's okay if it touches. I made this side a little too precise on my cheek, so it kind of has a line, but it's not that serious, you can't really tell. But let's show you how to do this side more, you know, efficiently. Angle the brush like this on your cheek so it covers more surface, as opposed to like an angle where it creates a line. So you're just gonna like brush, not pat. You're gonna brush it on. And that's gonna create a more even blush so that it looks like you're blushing from within. Can you guys tell the difference? This side is a little more harsh. This side is a little more blended. The girls who don't do makeup are like, girl, it looks the same to me. I like to put a little blush on my nose just to give me a sweet look. Makes me feel a little, you know, a little sweeter. I'm using Refy's brow pomade, like a little pomade, and you just dip it in. I'm just gonna start at my tail and work my way forward. I'm not going to do the front of my brow, just like right behind the front. I'm going in with Refy's brow pomade to gel it, or brow gel. Mine is disgusting because I do my brows at the end of my makeup. Some people do their brows in the beginning. I might start doing my brows in the beginning, I don't know. But I've always done my brows at the end. And I'm not gonna do the front, but now I am gonna fill in a little bit the brow, just a little, to fill in those gaps. Okay, you see that? Ends are kind of filled in. I just gave it some definition. Okay. I'm gonna take a little spoolie and I'm gonna brush whatever makeup I have in the back. I'm gonna bring it to the front by just brushing the two together. And that just ensures that your eyebrow looks natural. You don't want it to look too blocky at the front. I could be a makeup artist, y'all. I really could. But that's not the adventure I'm gonna dive into right now. Now we're gonna do lips. Okay, trick I learned from the makeup artist that did my makeup on my birthday. She said whenever she doesn't have lip liner, she uses eyeshadow. And I was like, girl, ain't no way no eyeshadow's about to do lip liner. But it does. So she took a brown shade, one of these lovely shades down here, and she used it as my lip liner. I'm gonna use this color that's more like a chocolate brown. I wanna say it's this one, yeah. I'm gonna use this brush, this little semicircle brush. I also like to overline my lips, so that's what we're gonna do with the powder, but you have to be gentle because it's powder and you want it to be like a line, so. Make sure your lips are not wet. I shouldn't have licked my lips before I just did that. So I didn't say before, the lip liner is another hack to making you look more snatched and more like just pouty, you know what I'm saying? So when you overline your lips, it doesn't actually look as crazy as you might think. You might be like, oh nah, they're gonna be able to tell I overlined. You're literally doing it right on the line, but just right above it. You're not actually going away from the line. You're on the line still. You're just at the top of the line. So for example, let's say this is my lip line. Instead of staying here with your lip line on the white part, you're just gonna put the liner on top of that, right there of your lip. You're not going like above, you're not creating a new line. You're just going above the lip line. Not on it, but like right above it. That's how I would best describe like overlining. And girl, if your lips are dry, don't worry. You're gonna add some lip gloss and lip products that'll hydrate your lips again. Now I'm gonna take this lip gloss from Navista in the color Mava. Okay. Put it right in the middle. I'm gonna tap it out. Okay, and you see that? Now that is just the color combo. We're gonna add gloss to seal it up. This is the lip gloss from the beauty supply store. I don't like it, it's very sticky, but I'm using it for shine purposes. If you just have a shiny clear gloss, you're gonna use that over your entire lip. This is for photo-esque reasons or just, you know, to get the full glam look. You don't necessarily have to do this if you're not into it, but it'll brighten up that eyeshadow liner and just make your lips pop more. So you see the before. This is my lips before. And then this is my lips after. You know, it just pops more. So totally up to you. You can put a shaded lip gloss over it too to kind of give it a color blend. But that's the clear. This is what she did for me on my birthday makeup, and I was like, I like that. So it's something I just adopted into my makeup look. This is optional. I'm gonna do my lashes, but if you wanna put liner on before your lashes, you can do that. I honestly, because these lashes are so thick already, I'm not going to use liner, but usually with my 1 layer lashes, these are the lashes that have about 2-3 layers in them, like they're fanned a couple layers. I usually get the lashes that have 1, maybe 2 layers, maybe, but usually just 1 layer. And I'll put liner with those. But because these are so thick, I really don't want to add liner because it already darkens my eye so much. But a hack, if you don't like to use lashes, use liner, because the liner above your eye gives the illusion of, you know, that you have lashes on, because all lashes do is it darkens your like strip, your line, your lash line. Lashes darken your lash line and gives a more dramatic effect. So I'm going to show you one side with just lashes, and I'm going to show you another side with liner and mascara so you can see how they look. You guys, the difference. So do you see how like this is better than what it looked like before? It's more dramatic. And then the lash is of course more dramatic than this, but they almost kind of do the same thing. This just gives you more drama from the side. You see how like, you see that? From the side, but from straight on, they both have that cat eye accentuating feel. to them. Do y'all see that? So if you don't want to do lashes every day, liner and mascara will have you good to go as well. Eyeshadow, I'm going to take this this brownish rusty orange right here. Not a bright orange, but more of like a rust brown orange. And I'm going to pack that on, and I'm going to start from the corner and work my way in. And I'm going in circular motions to blend it out. I've literally had this specific highlighter since high school. I've been out of high school. I graduated high school in 2016. We are in 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 7 years later, maybe even 8, because I think I got it my junior year of high school. I've had this powder for 8 years. Okay. I actually broke it, which is why so much of it is missing. Had I not broken it, it would be very much still full. Me and my girlfriends used to use highlighters like nobody's business. Like, we would always go to Sephora and get like our favorite highlighters. Like, we were always re-upping on highlighters. I'm gonna put this down the bridge of my nose very gently. This gives your face like that wet shiny look, which I kind of like. I don't kind of like it. I do like it. I don't do it often, but I do like it. And for the cheeks, I'm not really sure I want to do the cheeks. I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna do a little with my little setting brush. Just a little razzle dazzle. Okay, and I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna put on the other eyelash too. Okay, and one last thing I want to show you that the makeup artist showed me is she did line my waterline. I haven't lined my waterline since high school, maybe even middle school, but I really like how it pulls the eye look together. So I am gonna put a little bit along my bottom waterline just to make my eyes pop a little bit more. All right, girl, that's it for this makeup look. I hope you tried it yourself. I hope you had a lot of success with this makeup look. Remember, it's never gonna work the first time. And if you get it the first time, good for you. But remember to keep trying. Remember to work on blending, and you will get the beautiful, warm, glowy makeup look that you're looking for. Just keep trying. Rewind, pause, stop the video as many times as you need to get it right. But I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it helped you in some way and gave you some new techniques that you're gonna try. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.